The 7 most common mistakes when hiring a VA. Hey, this is Matthew Tringali with RTM Plus and Home Vault Academy. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the 7 most common mistakes when hiring a VA. And by the way, the reason I'm making this video is because I have made all of these mistakes. My quick story here is that I first started hiring remote in 2009 and made all of these mistakes, got so frustrated that I gave up and wrote off VAs, as I called them back then. I now call them remote team members. But I wrote it off. I said, this is frustrating. This can't be done. This is not working for me. Circle back around a couple years later to solve all these problems and really figure it out. And now we have it dialed in. Don't make the same mistakes I did. Here are the 7 mistakes. Number 1, thinking they can do too little. Okay, so by this I mean, don't think all they can do is check a checkbox. These are smart people. The sky is the limit on what they can do. The only limitations on what a remote team member can do is they can't do field work. They can only do things from behind a desk. And they can't do things that only a licensee can do in your state. That's it. Anything else you need done, there are remote team members that can do them and do them at a very high level. Number 2, thinking they can do too much. Now, I know that sounds a little funny because of what I just said, but here's what I mean by that. Don't think one person can do too much. So a lot of times I'll talk to somebody, they say, yeah, I want them to do all these administrative customer service things. Great, that's perfect. By the way, I also want them to write blog posts for me. That's different. That's a different skill set. You're going to need 2 different RTMs to do that. So don't think one person can solve all of your problems, whatever they may be. Number 3, don't have a poor job description. You want to really take your time to understand exactly what your pain points are, write a really great 4-hour job description that's going to appeal to and attract the right remote team members who have the right expectations and understand what you need and what they can deliver. Number 4, poor vetting. And I can't stress this one enough. At RTM Plus, only 7% of the people that apply with us, we vet them thoroughly before we then recommend them and place them with one of our clients. 7%. So what does poor vetting mean? I mean, you have to make sure you get good video samples, written samples, English proficiency test, typing test, work personality profile, if that matters to you, speed test on their internet, backup internet, if that's relevant. A good power supply, backup power supply, if that's relevant. Have things that you're doing to vet their critical thinking skills. So we'll send them little questions to say, hey, how would you answer this question or solve this problem with no direction? Don't give them any direction and just see, yeah, can they think critically on their feet to how would they answer those problems? I also recommend you make sure they've worked a U.S. time zone before and have worked from home before. I've made this mistake. I hired somebody that had not done work from home or worked a U.S. time zone. First day on the job, he fell asleep and let us know this job's not for me. Okay. Mistake made. Don't do that again. Okay. And by the way, considering working from home, make sure they have a good computer, a good microphone, good headset, good monitor, good webcam, all of these things. Make sure they're good and a quiet place to work. So there's more that I could say about poor vetting, but it's really critical. Don't make that mistake. Have a great vetting process. Again, have an expectation that if it's anything like us, only 7% of the people that apply are going to be the right fit. Number 5, don't take the first RTM that comes your way. This is really similar to the poor vetting, but yeah, the temptation is going to be, oh, this person looks good, but don't take the first one that comes your way. You really need to understand and make sure this can be a right fit. Chances are it's not going to be the very first person. Number 6, don't offer the wrong wages. And by this, I mean both don't offer too little and don't offer too much. You're going to have to become a student of the company or the country that this person lives in. And you're going to need to understand what is a good middle class to upper middle class wage for that level of position that you're hiring for in that country. Also, are they in a major metro area in that country, or are they in a more rural area? Because that'll make a big difference in terms of cost of living and wage expectations. So, if it turns out that the right wage for this person is $5 an hour, you can't be paying them $3 an hour, but you also don't want to be paying them $10 an hour. So you're gonna have to research and find the right wage so it'll be good for you and good for them. Number 7, and finally, don't have poor onboarding. Make sure to have a good onboarding experience for them. And this doesn't have to be anything complicated or fancy. Here's the good news. I tell people this all the time. They say, well, what am I going to do to onboard and train this person? I say, well, what would you do now if you hired somebody to come work locally at your office? They say, yeah, I do this and that, and this is what happens. I said, great. All of the technology tools exist now for you to replicate that same exact experience with somebody that is internationally remote. Open up your web conferencing platform and you can share screens with each other. You can talk on the phones. They can, shadow you in anything that you're doing and have a good onboarding experience. So those are the 7 things. Don't think they can do too little. Don't think they can do too much. Don't have a poor job description. Don't have poor vetting. Don't take the first RTM that comes your way. Don't offer the wrong wages, and don't have a poor onboarding experience. I hope you found this really helpful and have a great experience hiring an RTM. Thanks.